Rangers 1, Liverpool 7. Are Klopp's boys back? What's up, guys? It looks like Liverpool have made a sterling return after a dodgy fat hell against Arsenal on the weekend. Obviously, those who watched the game would have seen that it was obviously a really dodgy start for Klopp's guys. You know, they went 1-0 down, Scott Earfield with a beautifully slotted finish. But as soon as that goal went in, Liverpool did well to fight back, and although they looked shaky as the first half continued, in the second half they suddenly reappeared. The team that almost won 4 trophies last year reappeared. Especially when the substitutions of Salah, Thiago and Robertson were made. Liverpool became a completely different side. Now, throughout the story of Liverpool's 21-21, the story of Liverpool's season so far, 22-23, is that they've been in not quite the same team that we've been used to seeing for the last few years. The high, intense, consistent, focus-driven team that we've been used to seeing. This year they've seen a lot. They seem a lot less focused, a lot less concentrated at the task at hand and winning each and every game this season. And they've made a lot more defensive mistakes and don't seem quite as clinical at all up front. Now, people like to attribute that to the loss of Mane, but the reality is if you were watching Liverpool, you would see that Mane was on the decline. Sure, they could have kept him maybe for one more season, but the guy wanted to leave, and for what he has given to Liverpool, you got to grant the man his wish. But you can see by his form at Bayern that maybe he isn't quite the guy that we've been used to watching, blow it out for Liverpool. Nonetheless, back to the actual game. Rangers really did give Liverpool a scare at first, They came into the game, they were intense and they were at their faces and they were, really confident and really thought they had a chance of winning this game, especially when the goal from Arthur went in, But of course, and this is what happens when you're a team like Rangers, no offence, the quality isn't quite there, as you can see by the second half performance. But really, I called it a dodgy cross when it happened. A really dodgy cross from Simicast, and it just landed right on Firmino's head top. And, Firmino was a key player in Liverpool's, mini revival. Scoring the 2 goals to get them from 1-0 to 2-1 up, and then assisting for the third goal. Assisting Darwin Núñez for the third goal, And really and truly, Rangers started off really hot and they finished the first half, with confidence that maybe they can get a result in this match. But unfortunately, losing 6-0 in the second half, something went wrong. And it just seemed like they just couldn't keep up with Liverpool anymore. They couldn't repeat the trick of the first half as Liverpool stepped up a couple of gears. And of course, with those substitutions, stepped up even more in terms of the gears. And, it ended up becoming a massacre, really. Salah came on and hit a quick hat-trick. I think 5-6 minutes. And apparently that's the quickest ever Champions League hat-trick. And Salah's been kind of out of touch, kind of, on the weaker side in terms of his form. So this should give him the kick up the backside he really needs, honestly. And Liverpool will really be appreciative for that because, as we know, Liverpool were really counting on Salah for the last couple of years. He's become a superstar in that side. But, this is the ideal result for a team that really were kind of losing their way. The Arsenal performance is not as bad as people might say it is. Of course, I was meant to serve up a reaction with that with the boys, but hey, sometimes things don't go to plan. You know what I mean? But in that game, Liverpool did look threatening for parts of it, but not enough of it, as we know already. But in this game, even though it was a really dodgy start, they were able to kind of get back on track and win this game really comfortably. They really finished with a flourish now. The likes of Van Dijk still look very shaky at the back, but this is an improvement. But we know that Liverpool have scored more than 5 goals already this season, beating Bournemouth 9-0. So we've got to be aware that this doesn't equal them returning completely to form. Rangers, let's remember, don't have a chance of making it to the next round. And are not one of the finest sides in Europe. They're not even top of the Scottish League, honestly. But it's really just one of those ones there where it's just like, this is a performance that is going to give Liverpool back the confidence they need and hopefully ignite the focus and the drive in order for them to deliver the performances that they were delivering for most of last season and the season before that. But I think I'm going to end it there. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. And yeah, Liverpool might be returning to form. But obviously they got the big boy game this weekend against Manchester City. Now that's going to be a true test of their abilities and how far they might have come from the Arsenal game in these last, week or so, in this last week or so. Man City obviously rested Haaland, got a 0-0 draw against Copenhagen as Sergio Gomez got sent off. So maybe not the best way to prep up for the game on the weekend. But we always know that the Liverpool City games always turn out to be classics. But this game has a different type of vibe for it. Liverpool down in 10th, Man City chasing Arsenal. And everyone expected them to overtake Arsenal. So it's going to be very interesting, completely different type of dynamic because Pep and Klopp are so used to kind of like facing each other when being the top two teams in the league. So like, a completely different dynamic, and maybe that might just change the way Liverpool approach that match. But all in all, a really good performance against Rangers after a really shaky start. They were able to turn it around, and on top of that, completely, emphasize the dominance, emphasize the difference in quality between the two sides. So yeah, that's the end of this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Mini Laje.